Hello everyone, Rurikhan here, and today I'm bringing you my thoughts and opinions on the Microsoft press conference where they revealed the new Xbox. I was about to say Xbox 360, but I guess it's actually 361. No, just the new Xbox One. And I have a couple of things that I would like to say in regards to that particular console. Now, to put everyone in context, I mean, everybody pretty much knows that I'm more of a PlayStation guy than an Xbox guy, but I'm also the kind of person that is always looking, for what would be the best console for me, and not necessarily just like, no, man, I'm like friggin' Sony all the way just because. I mean, I know that I've said in the past that I'm pretty much invested in the Sony ecosystem because of PlayStation Plus, but I was still following this. I'm still following the new Xbox just to see what they do with Xbox Live, if they actually start giving out better value for Xbox Live, if they actually change a couple of things, because who knows? I could be someone who would end up buying an Xbox One instead of a PlayStation 4. It is not something that I would consider to be completely outside the realm of possibility. However, the problem is that with this presentation that they made, no way, hell no. And you guys may be like, oh man, here it comes, the fanboy and all that stuff. And no, I'm actually going to say that something that they did right that I don't think that Sony did right. Because, I mean, if you guys go and watch back my reactions to the PlayStation 4 one, you guys will see that I actually harshly criticized Sony on a lot of the stuff that they did in the presentation. So it's not like I'm going all out fanboy mode on it. It's like I'm probably going to buy it simply because it is the one console that has the franchises that I enjoy the most. And it also has more services that I appreciate better than the services that that Microsoft is bringing to the table. And after watching the presentation today, what I noticed is, for starters, they had a really good start. Why do I say they had a really good start? Because guy came out on stage, said a couple of words, and then he's like, bam, here's the new Xbox, here's the console, here's what it looks like, here's the controller, here's the Kinect, like everything right there out in the open. And I have to say, I respect that. I respect that because Sony didn't do that in their press conference. And I realize that I'm obsessing over something like a box, and I know, but that's me. I wanted to see what the new PlayStation looked like, and they didn't show it. Whereas Microsoft went the exact opposite route. They're like, right from the get-go, here's the new console, here it is. As a matter of fact, I was watching the presentation, and it's like, man, it almost sounds like they're saying, like, in your face, Sony, in your face. But then that was like the only thing they really had to throw at Sony, because after that, it's like things just went completely downhill. I mean, particularly for someone like me, because I live in Portugal, as most of you know. And a lot of people always ask, man, why do you live in Portugal? I was born here. I'm Portuguese. But I live in Portugal. So I am a part of Europe. And all those services that they started the conference with after they announced the console, like, oh man, you're going to be able to watch TV in these magical ways, and we're going to show you these statistics and all of this crazy stuff while you're watching TV. None of that applies to Europe. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that kind of stuff is not really going to work in Europe. As a matter of fact, currently Xbox Live, a lot of the services that people in America have, people in Europe don't have. So I was looking forward to this to see how they were going to address that, because I obviously, like I've said in the past, I do not want one console to dominate the market, because that is actually a bad thing. It is actually not good that one single console dominates the market, because that creates situations of monopoly, and that particular monopoly is actually really, really bad for the end user, also known as me and you. So obviously I wanted to watch the press conference and watch Microsoft address the Xbox Live thing, and they didn't address it at all. Instead, they just started, oh, look what you can do now with the console. You can switch between playing video games and watching TV and opening Internet Explorer and listening to music. And I'm like, look, here's the thing. If I want something that does all those things, why don't I just get a computer? I don't know. Just saying. I mean, I already have one. As a matter of fact, here's the crazy thing. A lot of people in the world already have computers. We don't really, I mean, me personally, I don't think, and this is my opinion, you guys tell me in the comments what your opinion is, but I don't think that we, like the people that actually, the first purchasers of a console, I don't think that we care that much about the how many movies you can watch on the console, how many TV you can watch on the console. I mean, what we really, really care about is how powerful is it? How well is it going to run games? What games is it going to have? That's the kind of stuff that I think that the early adopters are interested in. We're interested in how well does it run games? What kind of games are you guys going to have? Show us some gameplay. Show us someone playing a video game. And there was none of that. There was zero. It was just like the whole thing revolved around the Xbox being the one thing in your living room that controls your, it's like a media entertainment center. And this is something that I didn't want to see Microsoft doing. I wanted to see Microsoft focus on video games. I wanted to see Microsoft address Xbox Live, which wasn't addressed in the least. They didn't say if they were going to change anything. I mean, from the looks of it, it looks like Xbox Live is going to remain just the same. And it's like, I'm sorry, but have you seen your competition in Europe? Because I don't know how things stack up in the US. I've heard people say that even in the US, PlayStation Plus is still superior. I'm not going to claim that it is or it isn't because I'm not aware of what kind of benefits you guys actually have in the US with Xbox Live. What I do know is that in Europe, everyone I know that has Xbox Live, they all tell me that it's trash. And the only thing they really use it for is to play video games online. So they're actually just paying a subscription fee in order to be able to access online functionality. And basically, I mean, look at your competition, PlayStation Plus, giving away free games, giving away cloud storage, all this kind of other crazy services. And what's Xbox Live doing for people in Europe? I mean, I'm just talking about Europe right now. Nothing. Allowing people to pay for something that should be free to begin with. So I wanted to see this being addressed in the conference. It wasn't. They didn't touch it in the slightest. And then it's just everything went back to the whole television thing. Then when they finally mentioned hardware specs, I was like, okay, let's see those specs. 8 gigabytes of system RAM. Okay. What kind of RAM? DDR3? GDDR5? There's a difference. We would very much like to know what kind of RAM do you guys have on that machine, because obviously we want to compare it to the PlayStation 4. That's what people want to do. We want to know. Let's see. Also, what GPU do you guys have in there? ATI? Nvidia? Nobody knows. I mean, I'm sure that somebody knows, but what I mean is that it wasn't announced in the press conference. And I was like, come on, give us a little bit more of meat. And then when the EA guy comes up and he's like, oh man, we got all these games going to come to your Xbox and stuff and some exclusive stuff and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, now we're finally going to watch some gameplay footage. Pre-rendered video. Unless someone's going to tell me that that is all in-game footage, which I highly doubt. I mean, because, I mean, just look at the quality of those animations. I'm sorry. I highly, highly doubt that the stuff that EA Sports brought to the table was actually in-game footage. I mean, come on, if it was in-game footage, just put someone with a controller. Show us someone playing it. I honestly don't think so. It definitely looked like pre-rendered footage, and I was like, okay, so I guess I'm not going to get anything out of this. Then later on, they showed Forza Motorsport. What was it, 5, 6? I don't know. I don't follow Forza. I don't follow like really hardcore driving video games. But I was like, okay, so now let's see some actual in-game footage. Nope. Here's another pre-rendered clip. I was like, what? How the hell are we supposed to evaluate how powerful it is? Come on. Let's be honest here. I want to see some gameplay. I want to see some actual gameplay footage. Nothing. None of the kind. So they keep on going with this, just showing more and more trailers of stuff. Then comes Call of Duty, and they're like, oh man, and we're going to have like exclusive DLC for the Xbox first. And I'm like, yay, hooray for you. I mean, that's been a given since ever Activision is in your pocket. We kind of get that. Well, I mean the people that make Call of Duty, because obviously then we have Destiny, which is from Bungie, which is also under Activision, and they are also doing exclusive DLC for or something of exclusive nature for the PlayStation 4. Then we have Ubisoft, who is doing also like 60 minutes of exclusive DLC for PlayStation 4. It's the exclusive circle jerk at this point. They're both like both Sony and Microsoft are culprit here, by the way. I'm not just blaming Microsoft. Both Sony and Microsoft are culprit. They're basically throwing money at studios and like, no, man, we need this exclusivity for this exclusive. And it's the exclusivity circle jerk. I'm sorry. I thought we had moved past this. Well, obviously, I didn't really think we had. It's just like an expression. I wish we had moved past this, but no, it's still all about that exclusive titles and whatnot. And then the other guy from Microsoft comes along and says, we're going to have 15 exclusive titles within the first year of the Xbox. And I was like, wow, 15, huh? Can I get any names? No, nothing? Just like 15. So you could have said 100. Doesn't really matter. You don't really have names to back it up. You don't really have anything to back it up. So it's like, we're going to have 100 exclusive titles. There. That sounds like a more round number. I mean, 15 exclusive titles seems a little bit excessive, if I'm to be honest. I'm not sure. Maybe they do have 15 exclusive titles. Who knows? I didn't get any names, so I honestly don't know. And to be quite frank, I was going to say that I don't care, but maybe I do, because I'm not exactly sure what those exclusives will be. But then again, that's what it's going to come down to, isn't it? Unfortunately, and in this day and age, that is what it's going to come down to, the exclusives. Who's going to have the better exclusives? Which exclusive is going to one-up the other console? And I mean, I really wish we could move past the exclusives and just go straight into services. I mean, come on. Tell me, how is Xbox Live going to compete against PlayStation Plus in Europe? That's what I want to hear. That's what would make me buy a friggin' Xbox. Tell me about what kind of RAM you have in the system. How powerful is the system going to be? Or is it still going to be hardware inferior to the last iteration? I mean, like for instance, the Xbox 360 hardware was inferior to PlayStation 3 hardware, but it was easier to develop for. Now, is the new Xbox One actually going to one-up the PlayStation 4 or not? They're just saying like 8 gigabytes. We're not giving out any more details. I've also heard a couple of rumors that apparently they're not going to allow used games. I mean, this hasn't really been confirmed yet, I don't think. I'm not 100% sure. It might have. But the whole used games thing really doesn't affect me that much. I don't usually buy used games that often. But what I've heard from Alpha Omega Sin, who also does videos and reaction videos, is that apparently if you own a video game and two people have different accounts on an Xbox and they bought one game, you can register that game to one account. And after that, it's like you're screwed. The second account can go pay some more. And I'm like, what? Really? If that's correct, I'm sorry. What the frack is wrong with you? Oh, man. But I have to say, at the end of the day, I was extremely disappointed. And I didn't want it to be, because some people might think, oh, yeah, it's the console wars. Yeah, we're winning. But at the end, you're all losing. Regardless of if someone is winning the console wars, everyone else is losing, especially the consumers. Nobody can win the console wars, because if they do, like let's say Microsoft wins the console wars, you're going to get worse service because of it. Because Microsoft's going to monopolize, and then they're going to charge you more, and Xbox Live is going to be even worse than it already is. It's going to offer even less things because they don't really have to make an effort because they've won. Or if Sony wins, then PlayStation Plus will gradually become crappier. That's just the way these things are. So we need to have Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo still duking it out at each other's throats. And if we look at what Nintendo's doing, just chasing after YouTubers. Really, Nintendo? That's your concern at this point? Chasing after YouTubers And I still haven't made a cons cast in regards to that, and I will eventually. In regards to Nintendo's actions of chasing down YouTubers. I mean, come on. What the hell is wrong here, guys? Seriously. I just don't know anymore, but I was very disappointed. We'll have to see what happens at E3 because Microsoft did say, we're saving all the games to E3, and at E3 we're going to have this big reveal, this big deal, and hopefully at E3 they'll mention Xbox Live and we'll see the changes then. But for now, it was a complete disappointment. Apart from the fact that they actually showed what the console looks like, it was just like it was that in-your-face Sony moment for Microsoft. So it's like, in your face, Sony, in your face. Here's our console right here, in your face. And after that, they had nothing else. They got nothing. They started going on the exclusives and on all the TV services, especially when they had like this big dedicated piece of the presentation. Just straight up for NFL. At that point, I was like, so what you're saying is that you really don't care about the European market at all. That's what you're saying, because you guys think that anybody in Europe gives two craps about NFL. I mean, sure, you might find your occasional fanatic in a country or two, but trust me, the great majority of Europe couldn't give a crap about NFL at all. And when they started, oh man, it's going to be this amazing thing with NFL. We're going to be like pairing up and smart glass this and Xbox that and Xbox show me statistics. And I was looking at that and I was like, yep, Europe's going to get nothing from there. Like no value whatsoever. Also not going to get a whole lot of value from connecting your Xbox to the TV. You guys are like, what do you mean? You can watch TV. Really? That's your value? You can watch TV? Let me tell you something, genius. If you don't hook up your Xbox, you can probably also watch TV. Yeah. I don't think Xbox is going to come up with a cable plan. Or are they? Maybe that's a secret plan. They're coming up with a cable plan, ISP provider, the works. And instead of having, your usual cable set box, you will just have an Xbox. Either way, I don't like it. Not one bit. Oh, man. Once again, I just hope that at E3 things change radically for the better because, like I said, I don't want to see anyone win the console wars. I want to see the companies still duking it out. I want to see them just keep on duking it out because that will force them to have better prices, to have better services. Competition, guys, it needs to happen. Which is why I'm happy that the Ouya is also entering the market and all that stuff, even though it's not for me. But who knows? Maybe the entry of new consoles is a good thing. More consoles, more choices, more of everything. Stick them in there. Yep. But that is my conclusion. It's like I was disappointed, and I hope that E3 changes things up. That's really all I can say. Because if it doesn't, I think gaming is in for a hard time. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. As usual, this has been Rurikhan. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, leave me in the comments. So far, what are you most inclined to purchase? PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One? Or maybe even Wii U at this point. Because, I mean, you have details on the next generation. So maybe you actually went the Wii U route. Let me know. Or just go ahead or PC. Who knows? Wii U, PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4? Let me know in the comment section. Peace.